I want to ask everyone this question. How comfortable are you using phrasal verbs? If you're an English learner and your level is B1, B2, or C1, how comfortable are you using phrasal verbs? How many phrasal verbs do you know? How much of it do you use in your conversations or at work? Let me know in the comments. We're going to learn about 10 essential phrasal verbs about people and relationship or things. If this is your first time, I'm Faith and I come out here to help you learn practical English that you would use at work and also in your private life. Today, we're going to cover 10 useful phrasal verbs about relationship and people. Okay, by the end of this life, you should be able to go away with 10 useful phrasal verbs that you can start using immediately. Some you might have heard but may not know how to use, and some might be new to you. So I urge you to grab your pen and paper and take notes as we begin. Okay, let's get started. So the first phrasal verb I have here is this: fit in with. To fit in with naturally means to belong to a group. Okay, to belong to a group or to feel like you are among a certain people or group. When you fit in with people, it means that you're similar to people in the same group or environment. For example, if you move to a new place, a new location, you may feel you don't fit in with because people are different and no one seems to know you or like you or understand you. In that case, you may say you don't fit in, into this environment or into this neighborhood. Okay, so you use this phrasal verb when you talk about adapting, right? Adapting to places, adapting to a group, adapting to situations, or adapting to an environment. It could be at work, school, anywhere at all, whatever group you belong to. So you can use this phrasal verb, fit in. For example, we can say, let's say you started a new job. You could say, it took me a while to fit in with my new colleague. So it took me a while to fit in with my new colleague. So it took you a while to feel that you belong with your colleague, to feel accepted in a place. Do we understand? Or you can also use it to describe things. You can also use it to describe things that fit or doesn't fit in a place. Let's say you're setting up your home, right? And let's say the color of your wall is white and you've got white sofas and white furnitures, and then there is a yellow or a green stuff, coming into the sitting room. You could say, no, this stuff doesn't fit in, with the rest of the furniture or with this sitting room. So something that looks out of place doesn't fit in. When something fits in, it blends with other things. I hope we get it. Okay, so you can use it for things, you can use it for people. So you can say this sofa doesn't fit in with the rest of the furniture. So to fit in means to belong to. In short, let's say to belong to somewhere, someplace. And number 2 I have here is look down. I'm going to use a capital D. So look down on someone. It's to, feel that the person is not as important as you, or as intelligent as you, or as the person doesn't measure up to you. So when you look down on someone, you belittle them. You feel they are not up to your standard. So that's what it means to look down on. And it's something that we shouldn't do. So you can use it when someone shows a lack of respect for people. I hate it when people look down on someone either because of where they are from, or because of the way they're dressed, or because of, the kind of job that they do. I mean, there are lots of reasons people look down on people. It could be the way they dress, the way they speak, the way they, the kind of work they do, actually. It can make you or make someone look down on you. So let's go to number 3. Number 3, gang up on. Have you heard this word before? This phrasal verb, to gang up on, or to gang up on, or ganging up on. What does this expression mean? So it simply means to join together, against one person. For a group of people to join together against one person. Have you ever been ganged upon? It happens sometimes when you're growing up, when you're in high school, a group of friends, a group of people gang up on you, simply because you wouldn't, give them what they asked for some silly reasons. I mean, we've experienced that. And even as an adult, you can experience that in your place of work as well. So, and you can use this sentence when a group of persons, criticize you or are unfairly against you, for no good reasons. It could be at work, it could be even in a family and among group of friends. So it's usually common to have people gang up against you, okay, or gang up on you. Very good. For example, let's say in a work situation, you can say something like, everyone ganged up on him during the meeting. Yes, everyone gang up on him during the meeting, or seemed to gang up on him during the meeting. Things like that. Or you can say something like, the school children ganged up on the new student. The school children ganged up on the new student. Okay, so think of an example and write it down. Let's not forget the meaning as well, okay, because we're coming right back. Now the next expression, or the next phrasal verb I've got, I think I mentioned this phrasal verb last week, is look up to. Now, what does it mean to look up to someone? To look up to someone, what does it mean? It simply means to admire and respect someone. To admire and respect someone. That's what it means, to admire and respect someone. And you use it when people, when people you admire, or when you admire people because of their character and because of their status, because of their achievements, or because of their, experiences. Oh, I look up to my manager, or I look up to my father, or I look up to my elder brother. So you can look up to people, you admire them because they've shown, responsibility, they have good character, and they expect, they're just good to you. For example, I've always looked up to my mother. I've always looked up to my mother. I've always looked up to my aunt, and things like that. So use look up to talk about people you admire, okay? Because of the way they are, because of their achievements and all of that. Now, let's move on. We're halfway done. The next one I have here is watch over. Yes, to watch over simply means to protect, right? To protect and take care of someone. It means to protect and take care of someone. So you can use this when someone is watching over or taking care of another person. Okay, you can use it to describe people who take care of other people. For example, or it could be something, not just someone, right? You can use it for something, not just someone. For example, I could say something like, could you watch over my bag, while I visit the restroom? Okay. Could you watch over my children while I'm on holiday? Something like that. So you can use this in everyday situation, and also, could you watch over my bag while I make a phone call? So you can use it in everyday conversation. So to watch over, to look after, or to take care of. Okay. My mother watches over my children while I'm working. Okay, for example. So you can use this in everyday conversation. Phrasal verb just kind of adds flair to your English, kind of makes you sound natural. Of course, there are other ways you can express these thoughts, but when you use phrasal verbs, they make you sound more natural because they're like natural phrases that people or native speakers use often. That's why it's important to learn them, and not just to learn them, to learn how to use them in sentences. Okay? Of course, that does not negate the fact that phrasal verbs have multiple meanings, but the most common is the one I'm taking my time to teach. Now, the next one I've got here is butter up. What does that mean? I know a lot of persons, you do this, but you may not know. Butter up. This means to flatter someone, simply because you want to get something from them. You use nice words for people just to make them feel good because you want something from them. Or say, oh, you're so kind. You're so nice. You're the most generous person I've ever met. Or you're the sweetest person in the universe. Because you want to ask for help. You want to ask for assistance and you don't want them to refuse. You just want to make them feel good. And afterwards, you make your request and they feel kind of obliged to give in. So when you butter up someone, you're just making them feel good so you can get something from them. So you can use it actually when someone kind of gives a lot of compliments. When someone gives a lot of compliments to gain favor. I mean, we're humans. We know this. We know when someone is buttering us up. Oh, let's say you go to your husband and say, darling, oh, you're so sweet. You're the best husband in the world. And the next thing he will say is, what do you want? It's common. So we butter people up a lot. I think it's in our nature to butter up. That's number 6. This simply means to flatter someone. Okay, flatter someone because you need favor from the person. Okay, let's go for the 7th one. Okay, and this is part with. What does it mean to part with something? Now, to part with something simply means to let go or to give away something that you own. So you can use this when it's kind of hard, when it's hard for you to let something go, when it's hard for you to give away something. For example, I couldn't part with my first doll that I got. I couldn't part with my first guitar or something like that. So when something is difficult for you to let go of, you can use part with. So it's to let go of something in a way. Okay. And number 8, what have we got? This is a very common phrasal verb. Break up. In the present form, you say break up, broke up, or broken up. Okay. The base form is break up, the past is broke up, and the past participle, it's broken up. So this means to end a relationship, to end a romantic relationship. So you use this when you separate, when you separate from your partner. Or it can also mean to separate things into smaller pieces. Yes. So break up the pieces of something. So to part something into smaller pieces. That's what also break up means. So it could mean to end a romantic relationship or to separate things into smaller pieces. So for example, you can say, they broke up after being together for 5 years. Now the next one is drop by. What does it mean to drop by? I'll drop by your house at 10 p.m. So this is to visit someone, without having a formal plan or arrangement. Oh, I'll drop by later after work. I'll drop by your place at 9 p.m. this evening. Okay, you make arrangements, you meet someone without having a proper plan. That is drop by. When you're making a short visit or a short call to someone, you could use drop by. For example, oh, my neighbor dropped by last night with a homemade apple pie, something like that. The last one I have here is turn up. This can mean really different things, but probably we'll just stick to one or two. So to turn up, for something to turn up or someone to turn up, Actually, this has like two different meanings. So the first meaning is to arrive, somewhere, right? To arrive somewhere. And the second meaning is to appear unexpectedly. So when something turns up unexpectedly, you can say, when something appears unexpectedly, you can say turn up. Okay. For example, my missing car keys finally turned up. In other words, I found my missing car keys. Or he turned up late last night. In other words, he arrived late. He came back late. Or he turned up without invitation. Exactly, Angela. You could use it like that as well. So he turned up to arrive, yes, or to appear unexpectedly. That's basically it. So today we practiced 10 phrases.